I'd like to thank everybody for coming here today. On behalf of Mayor Jones and the esteemed members of City Council, really appreciate you all coming out to help us celebrate this milestone. My name is Jameson J. Mannion. I'm the administrator for Workforce Development, and we're glad to have so many supporters and partners in the audience. And with us today is Mr. James Jackson from the Department of Parks and Recs, and we have members from Strickland Machine Shop, Matt Stewart, BMG Metals, and we have members of the classes. Those of you who are actually members of the welding class, would you stand up? And we would like to welcome so many folks have made this a reality. So many folks of the agencies, business, community organizations have worked with Richmond Center for Workforce Innovation to help this day become a reality. And to begin our celebration, I have the distinct honor of introducing the man whose vision, courage, and willingness to work with anyone committed to building the best Richmond, serving every resident and business. There are two things I know about Mayor Jones. He cares deeply about and remains focused to creating sustainable opportunities for every resident, every business, and creating pathways to prosperity for themselves and their families. And Mayor Jones is not a man who shies away from the tough issues. If it's a worthy cause, he will find a way to make it a reality. Please join me in welcoming the Honorable Mayor Jones.
Well, thanks, Jameson, and we want to thank Jameson too because he's been the driving force in getting us here today. So let's hear it for James. And Matt McGee, thank you so much. This is an annual engagement. We come here every year, and we want to make sure we keep coming back because these are really good outcomes, and we want to thank your company for all of the help that you've given us. I want to read these names and make sure I don't forget anybody. In addition to Strickland, Richmond Public Schools, anybody here from Richmond Public Schools? And ABW Design. There you go, Mr. Walker. And Arquette, I'm sorry.
They had to be out of town.
And BMG Metal. Thank you so much for being here. Let's give all of our partners. And so today we're here to celebrate this collaboration that will allow us to provide jobs by teaching trade that these individuals here today will be able to utilize in the marketplace and hopefully become entrepreneurs and start their own businesses. And this is really a huge tool in our toolkit against fighting poverty. We want to have this kind of training available for residents so that they can lift themselves into good paying jobs with skills that will allow them to do what they need to do in order to support their families. This is a wonderful day because often we sit around and discuss and blue sky about ideas like this, but today this idea becomes a reality. And so I had a quick session up here on these bike racks, and these bike racks are all around our city, but the good thing about today is that they're not being produced outside of the city, but they're being produced inside the city by residents of the city. And so I think that that is a huge step in the right direction for us on many fronts, not only providing training, but also providing an opportunity to trap dollars in the city. Now, it's important to recognize the anti-poverty efforts that we have been involved in. Thad Williamson is here, who's leading our anti-poverty efforts, and the first thing on the agenda of our anti-poverty report was training, job readiness, and providing jobs for our residents. And today, we really take a giant step in that direction of providing expertise for persons so that they can get jobs. We recognize that without a skilled workforce, that we cannot retain businesses and we cannot attract businesses to the city of Richmond. And so this is what we are about here today, because by retaining and attracting businesses, we are able to expand our tax base, which allows us to have more money for schools, more money for infrastructure, and more money to do the things that we need to do. I want to take a moment to acknowledge Councilman Angelesto, who was called away. He was in the parking lot but got a call and had to leave. But he was a person who identified this idea, or helped us with identifying this idea. And even though he's not here, let's give him a round of applause. And I'd like for the class to stand up again, because I think it's important to recognize that this is the second class, if I'm right. The second class, and the first class produced 4 certified welders. And I look forward to seeing the achievement of this class and future classes. And each class will not only learn how to weld, but they're going to create 50 bike racks that will be placed throughout the city. And I'm very, very proud of your accomplishment, and you're going to look back on this day and say, you know, I didn't know what this welding business was all about, but I really thank goodness that it found me, or I found it, because now I have a skill that will allow me to be employed for the rest of my life. So thank you so much, gentlemen, and congratulations on your achievement. And I can't say enough about the public-private, you may have a seat, the public-private partnerships that we have forged here today with these companies, because these kinds of relationships are the kinds of relationships that make our business possible. This administration recognizes that government cannot do much at all alone. It requires partnerships with those who are in the marketplace. And so we really thank you for stepping up to the plate and helping us to get this job done. So with that, thank you very much. We're going to see some bike racks now.
Well, I'm going to let Matt's going to say a few words.
All right.
And, let Thad say a few words, and then we'll go out and show you the
Very
class and what they've created. Because before this was a laydown area full of a bunch of stuff with a wall in the middle of it. And this has all been created specifically to create these opportunities. And we're going to talk about how we're going to try to expand that. So, Matt, I'd like to introduce you. This is owner of Strickland Machine Shop. Strickland was founded in 1901, and been here one of the first oldest cities. He's not quite that old. And I met Matt 3 years ago when I was looking for ways to create sustainable jobs and to get people involved. And you know, as an economist, I learned not to trust what people say, but to watch what they do. And Matt is a man of action and of work, and he has found a way to work with us and his partner Stuart in helping us to create these opportunities. So I'd like you all to thank Matt McGee.
Welcome, welcome. Again, I'm Matt McGee, president of the Strickland Machine Company, and as Jameson said, we were founded in 1901, and we are a fabrication and machine shop. We are based in the city of Richmond. We service the city of Richmond. We've been blessed with a contract with you guys for probably 5 or 10 years now, providing parts for the city, so it was a perfect mix. When Jameson approached us about a year ago with this concept, this was an attic. I mean, this had just junk in it for years. This was a laydown area. The concept of skilled labor was something we struggle with daily here at Strickland. You know, we have jobs, we're making products, we need skilled labor guys. Many of my peers out in the marketplace need skilled labor guys. We couldn't find them. We couldn't find guys who could do the product. We'd love to hire from the city of Richmond. We're located in the city of Richmond. We service the city of Richmond, so hiring from the city of Richmond is perfect for us. It's what we want to do. But lacking skilled labor, we couldn't find the right guys to hire. So when Jameson brought this up, we jumped at it. We thought it's a great opportunity. We were happy to host it, to put whatever we needed in front money to get this thing set up. BMG, we approached them to substantially discount the products that the metals, which they were kind enough. Arquette supplied the welding supplies, so we were able to get the school up and running. Andrew Walker is the teacher of the school back here in the orange. He's your instructor. This is the second class. The first class came through. They were the prototype. We had to figure out how all this worked. Jacob was kind enough to do the bike racks to us. My message today is we're going to run out of bike racks. So for this to work, it's a private, we can structure this and we can do this with private funds. We've figured out a way, we've modeled it, we've financially put it together, but we need support, and I'm going to say this to you, Mr. Mayor, we need support with the local community, the big boys. The guys who are making hundreds of millions of dollars of product every year that goes into their stock rooms. and we all know who they are in town, to carve off a piece of that they're sending to China now, designate it over here. Our model shows that we can build it profitably for the company. We can engage and pay the labor pool the day they show up here. Strickland, being a small business in the city, will grow from it, hiring the labor force here. So it's a private arrangement that we can do with no public funding, as long as we can continue to get product on a support basis.
It's a good plan.
So it's a nice plan, and we're happy to host you and happy to have you all out here today.
All right, thank you, Matt. It's a testament to the program and the faith that our business community has in the city to partner with us and work with us. Now I'd like to invite Dr. Thad Williamson to join me at the podium. Richmond is lucky to have someone as Dr. Williamson's caliber and standing as the Director of Community Wealth Building. Dr. Williamson is a noted scholar, author, and recipient of the University of Richmond's Distinguished Educator Award. Dr. Williamson.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you, Jameson. Thank you, Mayor Jones. Thanks for all of you who have made this happen. I am the Director of the Mayor's Office of Community Wealth Building, which was founded in 2014. So we're relatively new, but I am actually delighted in my first month on this job to have this example that really expresses so much about what we want to accomplish with the poverty reduction and wealth building agenda that the mayor has laid out in terms of, as Jameson, the mayor, said, moving people into steady living wage jobs, providing the training to make that happen, providing the connection to actual jobs. That's absolutely critical. That's a workhorse of our whole effort. So I congratulate you for being at the leading edge of that, and I wish you every success. And likewise, this concept of social enterprise, which this also exemplifies, identifying a community need to make our city more bike-friendly, and finding out a way locally where we can, where it makes economic sense, to provide those needs and create quality employment opportunities. So my office will be engaged in a strategic planning process to think about how to do that in a very intentional, larger scale way, but this is a shining example of what we have in mind. So thank you.
I'd like to first of all thank you, Mayor Jones. You have been such a strong supporter of the Center for Workforce Innovation and the work we're doing. I must tell you the courage and faith this man has. When I was hired, the city gave me one limitation: start with a blank slate. And don't look at what's been done in the past, think differently about poverty and unemployment, try some things. And if they show promise, we'll work to try to take them to scale. And it takes a lot of faith and trust in your team to challenge systems, assumptions, and the way things have always been done around here. So thank you, Mayor Jones. Thank you so much. And though Councilman Angelos is here and the mayor acknowledged him, I want to just thank him for finding this opportunity, coming forward, working with us. He approached BMG as well with me and helped us secure the support. I'd like to thank Mr. Marshall, though he's not here. He had to leave to another aspect. He's always been there to help us, challenge us, document our results. Peter Chapman, DCAO of Community and Economic Development, Deborah Gardner, who's not able to hear, and David Hicks, Senior Policy Advisor to the Mayor, who's all been stalwart supporters of this program. And I'd like to specifically thank Economic Development, Mr. Dan Maurer, who's helped us to secure the funds, to use CDBG dollars for something that's never been done in the city, for workforce development, instead of just buying bricks and mortar, because as you've pointed out, what good is it to build a house if nobody can afford to live in it? And so Dan found a way to make that work and understood the regulations to make that work. And Jake, and then Mr. Lee Downey, thank you so much for your ongoing support. Chief Creasy, who just called me last night and said, can we get some bike racks installed in front of some of our fire departments? So good job. The fire department's going to be arriving on bicycles. All right? I'd also like to recognize Mr. Andrew Walker. And Andrew gave up his passion of building custom motorcycles to customizing lives. And so this is some special customized things, bike racks, high speed, low drag, that Andrew's prepared for us. And we thank you. This would not have been happening without you and your passion and service. So thank you so much.
They're pretty. They're really nice.
And if you do want a motorcycle, I'm sure they'll hook you up. All right? You'd look good on a motorcycle, man.
You're right. Yeah.
And I'd like to thank Matt for his commitment and Stuart for coming along. Tom, thank you so much from BMG Metals for making this possible. We could not have made this. What made this all possible is that we found a way that the city could get what it was buying anyway at a comparable price using local services, local machinery, creating local jobs, local skills, and so it's a win-win-win, and it's sustainable. And because of that, we want to grow it. And so we want to look at it. I've got Mr. George Valenzuela here from CTE, and he's Richmond Public Schools. We're looking at how to take these pathways and take them down to the middle school, because they've got to start younger. They've got to start and get a feeling and a passion for where we're going to go. And so as we move this forward, we want to challenge. We want to challenge the businesses in the community. We want to challenge our own city. James, I know you got more work out there. And what can we do to create opportunities, paid experiences, to make more of this happen? Because what we're doing is a good start, but we've got a long march ahead of us. So thank you so much for everything you've done and continuing to support us and continue to have faith. Because sometimes you're not always sure where we're going to go, but you've had faith enough to come along for the ride. So thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Ball. I've forgotten Mr. Ball, who's made all this happen by pulling rabbits out of his hat. So he is the night school director and doing an excellent job. So, Mayor Jones.
Are we going to?
We're going to show you, gentlemen, if you want to go to your stations and then talk to the mayor about what you've done, what you've created.
Ready? 3,
2, 1.